Welcome to Hammershack Transfer Deadline Day, and that's about as enthusiastic as I'm going to get because it's not great news, really, truth be told. Said Benrahma is now in France. He's been photographed with people with his Lyon training kit on, undergone a medical. The medical's happening today anyway, but that looks like it's settled. I can only imagine he'd go if he was certain that a deal had been struck between himself and West Ham. The deal between West Ham and Lyon's been done since this morning. It's just Said Benrahma negotiating his exit from West Ham. That's up in the air at the minute, but certainly he's in France and he's having his medical, so he's expected to join Lyon at this point. Now, over the last day or so, the Real Betis Fornals thing had gone a little bit quiet. Real Betis want him, but we rejected the bid. And I think because we're struggling to get somebody in, it's put West Ham off, and they've been sort of perhaps likely to hold on to Pablo Fornals. And I think that's still the case. However, Dermesh from Sky Sports reported about half an hour ago that Real Betis are now closer to what West Ham want, and all parties are interested in getting this deal done. So that would suggest that not only do Real Betis still want him and they're willing to pay more, the problem is we know how much they've got to spend to some extent because they sold Luis Henrique. I think that's his name. Apologies if it's wrong. I think he was 20 million euros. So they've just had a big sale, and that's given them a bit of cash to spend. So West Ham have a slight advantage in that regard. And if they were to wait until the summer to get him, there might be other clubs such as Sevilla or possibly Villarreal that want Pablo Fornals as well. So at the minute, Real Betis have got a shot at Fornals because there's nobody else in the bidding for him just now. But it sounds like West Ham are willing to sell him, which I still think is bold. I appreciate when people say, we should let Fornals go. I think on a humanity level, it'd be good for him to go. But at the same time, we've got to do what's right for us. And the last thing I want is to be doing a match preview with Gonzo in a month's time, in 2 months' time, and Paqueta's injured and Caduce's injured, for example, and we're just down to say the bare bones. We're selling the bare bones. We won't have any bones left. We'll have our first team, and that's it. Some people suggested, well, that'll make Moyes use the academy. Whilst I get that, the two of the most likely candidates to step into the senior squad of Cadu and Marshall are out on loan. Chester's has also gone out on loan. He's going to Salford for the remainder of the season. Now, I don't think he was ever going to step up to the first team, but certainly Marshall and Cadu had an opportunity. They've got a chance. They've gone out on loan. Now, Michail Antonio has returned or could potentially even be in the squad tonight. Mubama played for the under-21s last night, which was a bit of an indicator that there must be something happening for us to play him in the under-21s. But I think they're possibly down to the bare bones as well, since we've offloaded Marshall and Kadua. They maybe just needed Mubama for minutes. Maybe the under-21s have got no squad depth either at the moment. But Fornals looks like he could go. It's still up in the air. I'd be surprised and disappointed if we sold Benrahma and Fornals today and didn't bring anybody in. Now, Crystal Palace still hold an interest in Maxwel Cornet, which, again, surely we can't let all three go. I think 2 would be surprising. 3 would just be stupid to let all 3 go out the door and bring nobody in. But what it does do is it causes concerns and problems for David Moyes. We're live in 3 hours with our build-up show. At 6 o'clock tonight, West Ham hand the team sheet to the referee for tonight's game. So in 2.5 hours, less than 2.5 hours time, we have to submit our team sheet for the game against Bournemouth this evening. There's not going to be any players. The first 11 will be the first 11. That's why I think we might see all 4 centre midfielders play tonight. Or we might see Danny Ings up front and then Bowen and Caduce either side. Maybe he's going to rush back Paqueta or Antonio. I think there's been some guessing with Paqueta in the sense that he's left training the last 2 days. He's left training at the same time as everybody else, which would suggest he's participated in training, despite what the club are saying that he's not back yet. His movements in and out the gate. And that's all it is. It's just him leaving at the same time as everybody else. But usually the injured players have a different schedule to the players that are fit because of the way the physio works, etc., etc. So maybe we're going to get a bit of surprise. Paqueta and Antonio could be involved tonight. We'll have to wait and see. But it's not good for Moyes because if Fornals is available, he'd rather have him on the bench than not have him on the bench. But at this point, right now, at 25-4, he probably doesn't know. He's probably there, but also wanting to get out. So it'll be a bit of a of a strange one. I really dislike matches on deadline day. It's not an excuse for not doing business, by the way. I think when you're trying to buy players, the game shouldn't really impact it that much. Steidten and Sullivan should still be able to do business today if they want to. Bournemouth are signing a player today. But in terms of trying to sell players or potentially sell players, it's an absolute nightmare. I dislike it a lot. Now, in regards to the player we're bringing in, Jacob Steinberg is reporting that West Ham are trying to get a winger in on loan. I think that's an expectation. I would be surprised if it was the other way around, which is West Ham are not trying to get a player in on loan today. That would surprise me more. Now, the player that is suggested, now we are being linked to a defender. I can't remember his name. I haven't paid much attention to it because I don't believe it. I could be wrong. I just don't believe that we'd be trying to bring in a defender today. I think all our efforts will be going in to bring in a winger so that we can offload Benrahma and Fornals and possibly even Cornet if we wanted to as well. And that winger is Sarr. Now, you will know Sarr. He was previously at Watford. He joined Marseille in the summer for 15 million. I could be mistaken, and I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat, because my French football knowledge is minimal. I believe the Marseille manager, when Sarr joined, has changed. It's now Gattuso, I think. But I think the Marseille manager who signed Sarr is now at Villarreal in Spain, hence why Sarr joined for 15 and is now unavailable. I don't think he plays for Gattuso. He doesn't fit what Gattuso does. So he could be available today. I say could be. He is. Senegal got knocked out of African nations 24 hours ago, or not very, very recently. That's why Nicholas Jackson couldn't get back for Chelsea, but he's back today at Chelsea. And so Sarr is available and could be taken. What's the right word? Logistically, could make it to West Ham should he need to. Now, obviously, you can still sign players past the deadline. The deal sheet has to go in between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. So the deadline is 11 p.m. tonight. The deal sheet has to go in between 9 and 11 p.m. That deal sheet will grant you an additional 2 hours, so you then got until 1 a.m. However, you have to meet. Is it? I think it's called FIFA's matching system. I could have that slightly wrong, but it's not too wrong. You've got to have that done by midnight if you're buying someone from abroad. So if you're doing a domestic transfer, you've got until 1 a.m. providing the deal sheets in before 11 p.m. But if you're bringing in somebody from abroad, which we would be in Sarr's case, it's got to be done by midnight because of FIFA. That has to be done by midnight. You can also do a deal pending a medical, which is, I say, rarely falls through, but it can sometimes fall through. So there is still time. There's still plenty time for us to get somebody in, and Sarr is the one that's been tipped at the minute. In regards to him, I don't know how he's done in France. I can see he's got 4 goals and 1 assist. It's nothing fantastic, but we're letting Said Benrahma go, who's got 1 goal and no assist this season. So it's arguably, statistically, it's an upgrade. I remember him at Watford. Gonzo's a bigger fan of Sarr than I am. I always preferred João Pedro and then Sarr and then Dennis. And I think Gonzo would have went Sarr, Dennis, João Pedro. I'm guessing that one, but I think he preferred Sarr, whereas I preferred João Pedro. He would add pace to the team. He would be an option for us. I wouldn't be doing cartwheels, but I'd be breathing a sigh of relief that we brought somebody in. It's panic stations now, and I do not like it. This is what we were supposed to be getting away from with the introduction of Tim Steidten, but because of the way we've gone about our business, here we are now, where we're doing a mad dash to try and just get somebody in. And when Jacob Steinberg said West Ham trying to get in a winger on loan, I think he might as well have wrote West Ham trying to get any winger on loan, because it feels like that at the minute. It's got a little bit desperate. Right. Take some of your comments for the next 6 minutes and then I shall disappear. No, Senegal went out. Ivory Coast beat them in the quarterfinals. I've actually watched a bit of African nations. I've watched quite a bit of it, actually. Ray says, can't believe we're not going to be signing anybody. Mind you, we do have Sullivan in charge. That's the bit, isn't it? David Sullivan. Adrian said Lingard didn't come in. Possibly we could sign him tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday if we want to. I would like to think not, but listen, at the end of the day, if the club sanctioned the sales of Benrahma, Fornals, and possibly even Cornet, if Moyes was to turn around and say, can I have Lingard, please? I think you'd understand his desperation. But like I said, I'd be shocked. Alan said, fingers crossed for the match. Benrahma for now's leaving, and hopefully a new sided. Yeah, Alex, we've discussed the photo, but I appreciate you probably just joined. But yes, I've seen him I've seen him, a photo of him with someone, and he's in a white hoodie, and a photo of him with the same guy again, but he's now in a Lyon jumper or tracksuit. So I don't know if that guy's just waiting for Benrahma to get changed or something. I know there's rumours that Cornet is off to Crystal Palace. Oh, okay. So Sky Sports now reporting Cornet is going to Crystal Palace. Oh, wonderful. I mean, surely not. Jacob say, can I say African Cup of Nations or AFCON? I'll try. I've always called it African Nations. You know what I'm referring to. It's just like some people say Premiership when it's the Premier League. You know what they're referring to. It annoys me a little bit that they call it Premiership, but I guess I should have my own rule of thumb here and start calling it African Cup of Nations or AFCON. I just don't like saying abbreviations. Don't know why. Same with VAR. I call it VAR, but David Moyes calls it VAR. And for some reason, I don't like that. When someone calls it VAR, I find it quite, I don't know, it does something to. I get frustrated. I get stressed. I'm like, stop, don't call it that. Why are you reading the abbreviation? But anyway, it's like if David Moyes would say FYI, say FYI. FYI, you can download Silver Score using the link in description. No, but seriously, Frank Lampard meme there. Seriously, you can download the Silver Score app using the link in description. 33 people of you have downloaded it today. Thank you very much. Bill says, part of me hopes we get injuries soon. As soon as the window closes, just to kick them up the arse. Kick them up the bollocks. We ain't getting relegated. Who cares? Finish. Oh, no, Bill. I can't agree with that whatsoever. I will be disappointed. I'll be disappointed if we finish below 7. Because if you look at the table at the minute, we're 6. We win tonight. We go 3 points behind Aston Villa. That is fantastic, right? It's that would be brilliant after 22 games. But I look at below us. You've got Newcastle, who I expect to do better in the second half of the season because their injuries are out of the Champions League. And then you've got Brighton, who've got, 3 wins in 3 months or something. They're not good. I'm surprised they're still where they are, considering their form. Man United are, let's be honest, a shambles. Chelsea, also a shambles. Wolves, they look okay, but don't consider them a threat. So the only team below us at the minute that I fear overtaking us is Newcastle. We've got enough about us to hold on to where we are in the league. I think we can get European football next season. We need a little bit of luck in the FA Cup and Liverpool to win the Carabao Cup and the English teams to do well in European competitions to increase the chances of European football. But we can get European football. Yeah, Osborne's definitely off. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Christian Val saying 10th. Oh, I'd be fuming if we're 10th. Honestly, I would be fuming if we're 10th, where we are at the minute. 21 games in and we're 6th in the league. We're in a really good position. We are. Colin, we said Chelsea are getting better. I don't think they are. I've watched a lot of Chelsea and they have a good game, then they have 2 crap ones. They're not good. I would be disappointed. Cyclops thinks Newcastle, Man U, and Chelsea overtake us, Brighton possibly. I think Newcastle may. Man U, I'd be disappointed if Man U and Chelsea overtake us. I really do. They're not in good places at the minute. Mike's downloaded the Sofa Score app. Mike, thank you very much. I like it. It's a good app. I generally use it. Paul says we'll be 8th in the table, 19th in possession. I'll tell you who's 19th in the league for something. Bournemouth are 19th in the league for set pieces or conceding set pieces or second. How do you want to look at it? Who's top? I assume bottom is the worst team, right? Which is Nottingham Forest. So the second worst team that conceding set pieces in the league is Bournemouth. So expect to see Thomas Suchek tonight, but it might work. It might work. I will agree about Nkunku. I'm a big fan of Nkunku. He's got that star quality. CZ said he was responding to the question. Would you rather we finish 6th? Oh, sorry, I didn't read it. I was sorry about that one. It's difficult. I still think I still don't have any evidence that Steidten can appoint a good manager. There isn't any. There's no evidence. So I can't get behind something that might happen based on very little evidence. I struggle to do it. All right, Northern, I will say AWOL. I'll let you off with AWOL. That one's a good... Okay. You win. 1-0 Northern Hammer. You could have that one. As I said, the last 10 fixtures, we're third in the league. We are. Hunt is wrapped up in the bed with the flu. Oh, well, I hope you're feeling better soon. West Ham won't be helping you. David said we could be doing worse than Sarr can play left wing, striker can play right wing. With a preferred Rowe or Clark Bale, he'll do till the summer. I don't want us to have a he'll do, though. It's frustrating me, actually. I know Calvin Phillips has got an element of he'll do to the summer, but he's a substantial loan signing. Calvin Phillips is good enough to go into starting 11. Is Sarr? No. You're not taking, let's be honest, we're not taking Kudus, Paqueta or Bowen out the team for Sarr. I'm not even sure you'd take Michael Antonio out the team to play him either. It's frustrating. If we were going to sign a player that wasn't good enough to displace one of the starting 11, that's okay. I get it. It's not easy. But at least make it one of the long-term signings, like Osman. There was no pressure on Osman to go into 11. Clark and Rowe, again, they don't have to go straight in because the players in first 11 are that good that actually having somebody that's going to be patient and has to be patient isn't a bad thing. But we're not doing that. We're basically getting a stopgap so that we can cash in. But Sarr's not going to be free. We're going to have to pay Marseille a loan fee and then pay his wages. It's not like it's something with no financial outlay and then we can spend the money in the summer. We're going to have to spend part of that Fornals fee or Benrahma fee on Sarr. It's just, I find it frustrating for him. Thanks, Charlie. Charlie's saying the Guardian is saying that Cornet to Palace has agreed, depending on us getting a replacement. This is where now Palace are sitting twiddling their thumbs, aren't they? Do they have Maxwel Cornet or not? Do you know what I will say to? I actually think that's a good signing for Crystal Palace. Elise as in Cornet. They could do with him up front, to be fair. I think I like Edouard. I think he's a decent striker, and Mateta has his good games, but neither are consistent up there. So he's got a spot there. He can play on the left. I know Jordan Ayew will come back, or will be back from the African nations now, and Hodgson always likes him. But Charlie's mate, Jeffrey Schlupp, is going to have to come out of the team for Maxwel Cornet. But I just don't see the benefit of sending Cornet to Crystal Palace unless there's... I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. Martin, I disagree with this without repeating myself too much. He said the stadium was allowed to do what you did best, like Moyes and Sullivan, then we could have a decent minute. I don't see where Moyes has interfered, by the way. I think there's zero evidence that David Moyes has interfered in what Tim Steidten wants to do. Sullivan, yes, but also I'll repeat myself in case you didn't watch the previous show, Martin. If Tim Steidten is the one that leads negotiations, which we're led to believe, and hence why he's giving credit for the signings of Mohamed Kudus and Edson Alvarez, and to some extent Calvin Phillips, even though that's the most Moyes signing ever, someone had to do the negotiations, and Fabrizio Romano, Tim Steidten's mate, was quick to give him credit for Calvin Phillips joining West Ham. So if he's going to get the praise, you can't just give him the praise for all the deals that happen, and the ones that fall through aren't Tim Steiden's fault. Tim Steidten, and this was confirmed by the Danish FA. So if you don't believe West Ham negotiated with the wrong agent in regards to Ibrahim Osman, you have to believe that the Danish FA have lied. And I find that difficult, right? I'm willing to trust the Danish FA. So when the Danish FA come out and say that West Ham are negotiating with the wrong agent, and if they pursue it, they will be breaking FIFA regulations, that would suggest that West Ham are dealing with the wrong agent for Osman, and Tim Steidten was at the forefront of negotiations. That would suggest, I don't know this, it would suggest Tim Steidten negotiated with the wrong agent in regards to Ibrahim Osman. And there's another layer of evidence when Fabrizio Romano, Tim Steiden's mate, put out a tweet regarding the Osman one saying, personal terms all done, agents happy, and it's just the clubs have to agree a fee. So there you go, Fabrizio Romano saying agents happy with this deal, which would be Mitch, the Belgian, and not Daryl Powell, the Englishman. Steidten's got to take that one. Like Sullivan Stoke, I think they can get around that too. I think that transfer could have been resolved relatively easily, but I think Sullivan's interfered and blocked that from happening. But initially, I think Steidten's made a bit of an error on the Osman one, in my opinion. Anyway, doesn't mean I don't. By the way, it doesn't mean I don't want Steidten at the club. I'm pleased he's here, and I hope he remains here. Just that one deal, the Osman deal, I think he massively got it wrong. Luke from the Three Hammers said he's looking forward to tonight and hopefully seeing Calvin Phillips. Finn says Moyes wanted Phillips and Osman here. I agree. Listen, I've called him Dithering Dave plenty times in the past, and I do think that has been applicable in the past. But from this window, Moyes wanted Phillips. We got Phillips, and Moyes was happy for Steidten to bring in Ibrahim Osman, and we didn't. I struggle to really blame David Moyes for this transfer window, truth be told. Ralph said, Moyes said in press conference Tim isn't up to speed with the UK transfer market. Do you know something? He probably isn't. He's not even been here for a calendar year yet. I don't blame. If Steidten makes errors or he doesn't quite get it right in his first couple of windows, that's all right. It doesn't bother. It depends on your opinion of Steidten pre-West Ham. My opinion was this is a promotion for him because he no longer has his line manager that he had at Leverkusen, who did, I believe, did the negotiations. It wasn't Steidten. Steidten was responsible for identifying players, but there was someone else that was responsible for negotiations. So I feel that this is new territory for Tim Steidten, and he's learning on the job and has made an error with the Osman one. But I'm hopeful that come the summer, we can have a good summer transfer window. Frank says, Buildup show will be very interesting. Make sure myself and Gonzo are present because it'll be very fun. Gonzo's not here tonight. Gonzo's at the game. Gonzo's gone to the London Stadium for the game tonight. So it'll just be myself on the Build-Up show. And then Charlie will join me. Charlie will do the watch along. And then tonight we're going live. Myself and Charlie are going live. We'll invite a couple of people on, whether they're available or not. I don't know. We'll find out. But we'll be live probably about 10:15, and we'll be live for an hour and a half or something. We try not to put a definite deadline on it because sometimes it can be good. We get interacting with the live chat and we'll be taking loads of comments. Brad said, I think Tim's had a howler of a window for someone who's supposed to be a top talent. He's done embarrassingly badly, showed total incompetence in this window. But I'm going to leave it there. I've done 20 minutes again. I'm sorry. Right, I'm going to disappear. We're live at 6:25 tonight with the Build-Up show, so we'll be focusing on the West Ham Bournemouth game as much as we can. Obviously, the transfer talk will be part of it, so we'll be live at 6:25. Join us. If you're going to the game, enjoy it. If you're not, come back here at 6:25 for the Build-Up show, the watch-along, the review, and then we'll be live with our Deadline Day show later on this evening as well, where we will be discussing everything because we will now know the conclusion. So at the minute, Said Benrahma's in France. Pablo Fornals could still go to Real Betis. West Ham have agreed to deal with Crystal Palace for Maxwel Cornet, but it depends on us signing somebody. Somebody is likely to be Sarr of Marseille, previously of Watford. I'll see you tonight at 6:25.